Hi everyone, I got my one race, the human race shirt on. If you agree with that message, order one of these shirts from contradictmovement.org. For this video though, I will be watching a video I saw. It's by a guy named Stephen or Stephen Meyer, uh, professor, Ph.D. guy, explaining how modern day science can trace back to Christianity, that Christianity gave rise to modern day science. I've made that statement myself a few times. I'm curious how Stephen or Stefan will defend it. Here it is.
Methodological naturalism is a convention that has really only been around since the late 19th century. Science actually got started in a very explicitly theistic and indeed Christian milieu. The period of time that historians call the scientific revolution is roughly 1300 to 1700. There's debate about when it actually starts and how much the Protestants versus the Catholics were responsible, but clearly theological ideas, Christian theological ideas, had a huge role in the formation
Okay, and that's definitely before naturalism.
and the foundation of modern science. One of those key ideas was actually the idea of intelligibility. That nature is intelligible. There's an order and a design that can be understood and discerned by the scientist because nature is the product of a rational mind, a rational intellect, namely the mind of God, and that same mind or creator who made nature with that rational order built into it, made us and our reason so that we could perceive and understand the reason that he built into nature. And that was what gave people confidence to do the hard work of investigation to figure out, well, what is the hidden order? What is the design that is beneath the appearances in natural phenomena?
Okay, so I'm not sure if he's about to say this or not, but what he just said about how because the Christian worldview believes God created the world, we know that the world we see around us came from a mind, the mind of God, and that mind of God created a world of order that could be intelligibly understood, and that God made our minds that we can reasonably and intelligibly understand the world, which is intelligibly capable of being understood, because it all comes from the ultimate mind of God. Now, I don't know if he's going to say it. Naturalism, everything coming from nature itself, has minds coming from mindless matter, has the universe, everything in it, coming about by random chance, not by intentional design. So, in a naturalistic worldview, there's no reason for anyone to expect to be able to reason or to be able to trust the reason or to expect and trust the world to be discerned or capable of being discerned. I'm curious if he's going to say that or not. Naturalism, chaotic, random chance world that's always in flux and motion, doesn't promote this belief of let's go do the hard work and investigate because it's worth it, because it can be done. See if he says it.
So the first thing to say is that science did not arise because of a set of naturalistic presuppositions. It actually arose because of a conviction that there was a lawful order in nature, that human beings could discern and understand it because they'd been made in the image of the creator of that order, and that also they needed to go investigate because while they might expect that there's a rational order there, the Greeks believed the same, they also knew that the rational order was contingent on the choice of the creator. This was a product of recovering the doctrine of creation in the late Middle Ages. And since the order in nature is contingent on the act of the Creator, we have to go and look and see what kind of an order He put into it. We can't just simply sit in our armchairs and deduce it from logical first principles. The Greeks and the Ptolemaic astronomy was a good example of this. They figured that, well, since the most perfect form of motion is a circle, and since the planets are in the heavenly realm, they must be inscribing circular orbits, but in fact they were doing ellipses. So the early modern scientists broke with the ancient Greeks and said, since nature's created by God and he could have done otherwise, we need to go and find out not what he must have done, as Robert Boyle said, but what he did do, which means empirical investigation. You got to look and see. So there were a number of ways in which Christianity gave rise to modern science, and the idea that a set of naturalistic assumptions is necessary to do science, I think it's just historically false.
All right. Nice, sweet, and to the point. Christian beliefs, Christian presuppositions are necessary for the scientific method to work. Naturalism doesn't give the necessary presuppositions or world necessary for the empirical method to work. Other worldviews and belief systems, such as pantheism, doesn't either. Think pantheism, everything's God, everything's divine. That would be very unethical. Then you're not encouraged then to cut stuff open and see what's inside. I mean, you're not then encouraged to manipulate nature for testing reasons, because you would be manipulating, cutting open, playing with the divine, which is just bad juju, probably bring you some bad karma. Other thing, astrology, really big stuff. Astrology still coming back at it. Someone started talking to me yesterday about, I'm a Sagittarius and it means this, and you're a Capricorn and it means that, and you need to be grounded because you're blah blah blah. It's like you're getting all this from the stars, really. So large parts of culture and history were dominated by people that thought the stars did dictate what occurred here on planet Earth, and many people apparently still believe that today. And living in a community or society in which that's a dominant belief as well doesn't really promote the scientific method either, because you can't manipulate and change the stars. It's already predetermined. And so you're just kind of along for the ride in whatever state you're put in. Anyways, cool video. I like it. Thanks for the explanation there, Dr. Meyer. Appreciate it. God bless you.